Hey everybody, Milton Davis here, here in the Playing the Odds group. And I just wanted to come on and talk to you guys a little bit about the upcoming Kickstarter, where we are, and just give you some details about what's going on and why we're doing it. So, as you know, we've been working on the Playing the Odds animation series for quite some time now, probably about 2 years to be somewhat exact. And we are close to launching our Kickstarter. The Kickstarter will go live April 4th, 2022, and I'm in the process of putting the final details. Everything should be set up and ready to go as of this Friday or probably next Monday when I'm working on it anyway. But just wanted to talk to you a little bit, tell you some things about our objectives and what we're trying to do and some of the things that are going to be available for the Kickstarter. We are going to be raising $6,000 for this Kickstarter. And that sounds like, and that is actually a small amount of money when you think about animation. Animation is very expensive. That's one reason why you don't see a lot of people doing it. And to be quite honest, a lot of animated Kickstarters or crowdfunders are not successful because they are so expensive. However, we've got a little advantage on that. We had the opportunity to work with an animator by the name of Paul Brown, who we worked with him in combination with his classes that he was taking. And actually, he took on the responsibility to animate the first 2 minutes of the Playing the Odds animation. Now, you've seen the trailer. The trailer was done by Mark Vision Barnes. If you've been online anytime, you know Mark's work. Mark is a master of Unreal. What Paul brings to the table is that whereas Mark can pick different models and put together functions and come up with some great work. Paul can actually do the actual animation. He can actually get more specific on what we're trying to do, and that we can actually take his work and then put it into Unreal and come up with something really fantastic. So what we decided to do in order to make sure that this project can go forward is that we're breaking it up into increments. We're breaking it up into increments that we can actually finance and support. And the plan is, if I don't know if you guys are familiar with this one animator who actually was doing the Warhammer animation. He was doing like a fan animation, and what he would do is that he would do small increments, and each one would be like it would be like a mini episode, and eventually you could string all those together and get a continuous animated series about 20-30 minutes. We plan on doing the same thing with Playing the Odds, and this Kickstarter is being given to finance the first 2 minutes of the animation. I made a list of stuff because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget to talk about anything. So the main, I guess the main reward for this Kickstarter is going to be the animation itself. It will be available either to watch online on my YouTube channel, or you can download the MP4 so you can watch it at your convenience. That's going to be the main reward, I would say, if people would be coming for. But of course, we're going to have all other kind of rewards and perks for you guys to support us and get some really good things as well. But this also is going to serve as a pitch video. Of course, we're interested in investors, and one of the best ways to get investors is to show them what you can do. And the first example of that was the first pitch video that we did that gave them a general idea of what Playing the Odds is all about. This actually will be a episode from the actual story, the actual animation. So we have another example of what we're doing and what we're working toward, and that we're making progress. So this will actually serve as another example that we could show to people like Netflix, to Unreal with their Epic game, what they call it, they have a program where they actually will finance animation and stuff like that, and allow us to go after grants and different things like that, to where we can actually do more than just 2 minutes, where we can actually have more money to bring in more animators and do more work and expand even more. So this is a dual purpose as far as this Kickstarter. So what you will be supporting is actually not only the animation itself, but also the opportunity for us to be able to take this animation and take it to possible investors and end up doing a whole series. When we first broke this down, we looked at the Playing the Odds being basically I think we said like a 8-episode series, and each episode would be about 20 minutes, and that's our eventual goal, which we will reach one way or another. But this is the beginning of going toward that goal. just to give you've had a chance. If you haven't been to the site before, I just give you a rundown of all the people involved. Of course, I'm involved. Basically, I wrote the story, Playing the Odds. I'm going to be working on the script of the story with Balogun Ochidade. We both wrote the award-winning script, Ngolo Diaspora. We won the Urban Action and Showcase Award for Best Script back in 2014. And I just learned today that Balogun's game, Grandma's Hands, has been shortlisted for the Nebula Award for role-playing games. So congratulations to Balogun for that. Also, of course, I talked about Mark Vision Barnes. If you've been online anytime and you've been looking at animation, especially animation based on Unreal Engine, you've seen Mark work. He does tutorials. He's really creative and an imaginative animator when it comes to creating stuff like this. He actually did our trailer. Paul Brown II. Paul Brown is actually another animator that we're bringing in. He knows the nuts and bolts of animation. He can build it from scratch. And him and Mark working together is a great combination. And we also have DeGradier Daniels. DeGradier is another animator. DeGradier's actual specialty is virtual reality, but he also is a very innovative person. He's discovered some amazing ways for us to be able to integrate motion capture without having to use motion capture equipment. And he's a guy that's always on the cutting edge, looking for new ways and innovative ways to create stuff like animation. And I think he's a real asset to the team. And with him and Mark and Paul together, we got some great ideas and some great things going on. Also, another great member of our group is Paula Wilson. Paula is the owner of a company called Pepsqually, which actually she specializes in voice acting, sound special effects. She works on podcasts, and Paula is amazing at what she does. And she brings that expertise and knowledge into sound design for not only for sound design for animation, but also her knowledge and her experience in the animation industry overall. She's been in the industry for like 10 years, and she knows it in and out, and she's been a real asset on supporting us and sending us and guiding us in the right direction when it comes to doing this animation. We got Scott Washington. Scott Washington is a master model maker, and our plans is to get Scott to do some specific models, vehicles for our animation that we can basically, incorporate into the system. And we'll take his models, do a 3D scan or some other perfect thing, and then we will put them into the animation. It gives us some uniqueness in what we're creating. As far as the storyboards are concerned, we're going to be working with Peter Daniels. Peter owns a company called Peta Studios. They specialize in comics, and Peter will basically be doing our storyboards. Once we get the financing, we'll get that to him, and he will basically be sketching out the storylines, and then we'll take that and use that as the basis for our animation, for the animation for Paul to work on, and eventually to get Mark and everything else. And then last but not least is our marketing team, Keisha Stovall and Dedrin Sneed. Both of them will be working on our marketing and spreading the word about our projects. So we basically got it's an ace team. It's an ace team. When I look at everybody that we're working with, I've known all these people for years. I've worked with them in different capacities, and so the fact that we're all able to come together on that project is really exciting to me. So I forgot one person, and I say last but not least is Otis Galloway. Otis is actually doing the music for Playing the Odds. We have our own unique soundtrack. He's actually done the whole soundtrack, which actually will be one of the rewards available if you pledge to the Kickstarter. And Otis just recently had one of his songs used that it's going to be used in the newest version of Gran Turismo. And I'm going to put a link to that. It's called A Love Like No Other. Let me get this copy here. And here's a link to Otis's song here, so you can go check it out. Really smooth, cool song. Hey, Brian, what's up, man? I'm glad you're looking forward to the project. We're looking forward to getting it done. Hey, Kamiko, how you doing as well? Thank you guys for the support. We hope to get this thing going soon. I'm also going to put a link to Paula's website, Pepsqually, so you can get a feel for who she is and what she's about. And for anyone who is listening and has not had a chance to visit our website, I'm gonna pop a link on there to copy that. Here we go. So those are all the cool links I got right here. Oh, one more thing, I want to put a link to Balagoon's RPG game, Grandma's Hands, his Nebula nominated game. Okay, let's see. All right, so I got all the links here. So I talked about rewards. If you know how Kickstarter works, we basically have a goal that we work toward. And in return for your donations, for your pledges, we give you guys stuff. That's basically what we call it. I call it Kickstarter Loot. Of course, the main thing that we're going to have available is going to be the video itself. Like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be available either to watch on our YouTube channel, or you can download the MP4 and watch at your convenience, depending on which level you pledge. We're also going to have some swag available. We'll have some Playing the Odd t-shirts, Playing the Odd caps, maybe even playing the odds coffee mugs. We're also going to have a couple of book levels. We're going to have a digital level where you can actually get the Playing the Odds novella, and we'll also have one where you can get the physical copy of the book. We're also going to have a cyberpunk level where you can get Playing the Odds, you can get the cyberpunk anthology, you can get the Angolo diaspora novella as well, and you can get the city. So we'll have that also in a digital level as well as a physical level. And of course, the books that you get that I wrote, I'll sign them. We also have some interesting stuff. Since we're doing an animation, we're also gonna have the opportunity for what we call our business level. If you have a business and you have a logo, we will have a level where if you pledge at that level, we will actually incorporate your logo into the animation. That's going to be a limited pledge level. So we're only going to be able to do so many people because we only have so much space, and we don't want the animation to become a big advertising billboard. But we will be able to put it in there so people can see it prominently, that type of thing. And we're also going to have a level where if you give at that level, and I think we're only going to have one of those available, you can actually be a character in the animation. that's going to be there's a couple of characters that are in the storyline that could be basically anybody, and you might be that person if you pledge at that level. So that's some of the ideals of that. Of course, we're going to have levels where if you pledge at those levels, you can be listed as an executive producer, and everyone, of course, that pledges will be listed in our thank you in our credits, thanking you for supporting us on this particular program. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we're doing and where we at right now. If you are interested in being kept up to date with what's going on, you can go to the website and you can subscribe. We have a mailing list for subscribers, and we'll be sending that list out periodically to let you know where we are, when the website is complete. We'll have a follow link for the website that you can share with your friends, that they can click on, and then so they'll be able to follow and know when the day we launch. And one of the things I want to really emphasize, and which is really important, Kickstarter, and a successful Kickstarter is a thing of numbers. The more people we can reach out to, the more chances we have of success. And we all know these days, because of algorithms and different things like that, we don't always reach everyone in our friends list and in our groups. So it's really helpful when you guys can take this information and share it with your friends and family as well. The more people we can reach out to, the more chance we have of this being successful. So please share everything that we post up. Send people to the website so they can see our pitch video. If you have any questions, please get in contact with me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. You can either post them here. If they want to join the group, this is a private group because of the changes that were made. But if you have anyone that you know of that you think might be interested in the group, let us know. We'll send them an invitation. And again, it's all about coming together and hopefully, getting what we need to get and doing what we need to do to make this thing become a reality. So that's about it. Thank you for coming and spending some time and listening to what I have to say. And you will be notified as soon as we are ready to go. And that's all I got. You guys take care. Peace.